Hello and good day, everyone who decides to join us. This is Led and Nico, and we are here to continue reading.
The best night
What
ever.
is it? The best night ever. Best
How
night
can you
ever.
forget the name?
Shut up, Nico. This is chapter 4 of 5, correct?
Yep.
We're almost done. This should be fun. Um, do you recall where we left off?
What
What was
happened
kind of the
last
last thing
time?
that happened?
I
Yeah.
yes, I remember. We
What
had
happened?
we had Pinkie Pie not being affected by the looping, and we had
Of
Applejack
course, that
with
was planned.
problems with the farm.
Applejack with problems with the farm borders with the forest.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, so Blue Blood is attempting to. Who is he trying to deal with now? He already took care of Rarity, did he not? He took care of Rarity. He's taken care. He took care of Pinkie Pie and Applejack, and
So
has he?
the only ones left are Rainbow Dash and Twilight, if I'm not wrong.
Did he do anything with
No, wait.
Fluttershy?
No, wait. Didn't he gave something to Rainbow Dash? Yes, he gave the tickets to the VIP to Rainbow Dash, and we are just going to the gala at this point.
Hmm. Well, wait. What did he do with Twilight and Fluttershy?
Fluttershy, Twilight, he leave them alone. I think.
You think? Okay. All right.
As you can see, we
Who's
haven't
going?
read this in a while.
Yes.
It will come back
Um.
as soon as we start.
Also, for those of you who do subscribe to us, for which we are very appreciative, uh, this is our. What the heck?
Don't die.
I just had something appear in my neck. Anyways, this is kind of our comeback. We're gonna try what we can, try a few new things, see if we can't get videos coming out more regularly. But I suppose we can do an update video for more details on that later. In the meantime, let's just get with the story.
You start, good sir.
So I'm dialogue this time.
Yes.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey!
A velvet glow envolved and surprised the earth pony as Melody found herself yanked back off her hooves mid-conversation. It was unmistakably the result of magic, unicorn magic. It was just as she started to yell at the responsible pony to step forward, a large potted plant hit the ground, right where she had been standing. The mare's shock expression grew as she realized she could have been under it when it fell.
Well, it's
Glaring,
a good thing ponies don't actually die.
yeah. I mean, I don't think you will die from a pot in the head. At the very least, you will get hurt.
Well, it depends on how big the pot was. I mean, I've seen flower pots that are so heavy it took me and 3 other guys to move. And
Yeah,
Nico can stand up for this. I'm a big guy. I can
yeah.
move a lot.
Glaring up, she saw two Pegasi looking sheepishly and worriedly down. The pot having slipped through their hooves on the way to the second floor of a nearby building. Worse, the plant had. Whoa! I can't speak. Worse, the plant in the pot had been a. Oh my God! That would have been
At,
bad.
do they
Honestly,
have cacti where you live? Is
yes,
cactus a
yes,
naturally occurring thing?
yes. We have some.
We have those here too.
Honestly, a cactus of all things.
Oh,
That's the weirdest way I ever heard.
I'm sorry. I was trying to suppress a sound from. Uh, who?
She glanced. She
Who?
glanced around, but she didn't see any unicorns stepping forward to claim responsibility for the save.
Because who needs to?
Blue blood appeared with a pop of arcane magic. He didn't
You know what I've
particularly.
just realized? I totally forgot that Blue Blood has spent. How long do you think it's been for him? Years?
I'm pretty sure it's been at the very least like 6 months.
6 months? Because you think about it, he's learned a lot.
Yeah. Yes. Sculptures, teleporting. What else? Piano and something else.
Are you sure you're not remembering the movie? Because I don't think he's learned the
Wait,
piano in
yeah,
this.
I was thinking of the Groundhog Day, the
I'm sitting
movie.
here thinking, I was like, I don't think he's learned the piano in this.
Never
No,
mind.
he's learned magic,
Yeah.
and he learned. Uh, I would say he's learned the worth of a day.
Yeah. He didn't particularly enjoy teleporting, but at least he had gotten good at it. Eventually, or as Whiteman would say, he had passable but lacking in style. Wait, what? Whiteman would say he was passable but lacking in style. Luckily, an extravagant flurry of smoke, fire, dancing lights, or dancing leaves was not really needed to get the job done. That's a good point.
That's funny.
Hmm.
Bah!
The sudden weight on his back yelped as he goes as he couched his two
I
legs
think that's supposed to say crouched
as he
or
crouched
bent.
his legs to cushion the fall.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Nope. Telemarketers.
Keep going. We can ignore that.
If you're going to practice flying, you can at least do it somewhere with adult supervision.
He grumbled, letting the troublesome fall jump down into the ground.
Thanks, mister.
The orange filly shook her little wings. Once not quite up to the task of letting her glide yet. Scullolo tilted her head to the side in puzzlement.
Do I know you?
Why did you give her an accent?
Do I know you?
He shook his head.
I wish you did.
She quickly clapped her red scooter and buzzed off, literally.
What do you think he means by I wish you did?
I'm not sure.
He's her father. No, I'm just kidding. No idea. See you tomorrow, brat.
Why did he call her a brat?
I don't know. I was just reading the line.
No, I
Chill.
know. I'm just asking. Okay, sure. The next day assignment had to be the most inane he had ever given. Not only had he been shoehorned into playing golfer and guard to the princess' insufferable nephew, what perspective are we on this time?
No idea.
The crazy stallion had rushed them into Ponyville on little to no notice at all. The noble idiot was presumably in some sort of panic recording the gala. Why?
Oh, it's this guy Mercury that's with him.
Yeah, why Mercury couldn't imagine. Something to do with those mares, he was willing to bet. Crazy or not, though, Trubos was still the prince, and an officer of the royal household to boot. That meant he had leeway to do things his way. It also meant that his order, no matter how loony, had to be followed. Follow, follow. Flying over to tape a surprise ticket to the Weathersmere house had to have been kind of a waste of time, but harmless and nice enough. He hadn't minded doing that. Sitting on the cloud in the middle of the skies, hiding himself not over the damn town. This was stupid. What was he waiting out there for? Mercury's ear twitched as he heard a commotion in the bushes below. Raising his head out of the personal cloud cover, he stared to the ground of the source. There didn't appear to be much to see, but his sensitive ear definitely perked up. What sounded suspiciously like a scuffle. A spark of magic exploded from behind the tree, providing the least positional clue.
Curse you, Twilight Sparkle. This is all your fault.
That helped too. Taking up and circling around, Mercury saw what had been hiding below. A baby blue unicorn mare was stomping on the head of the cringing diamond dog, while two others restrained her by the front legs. Mercury nodded his eye, gained some altitude, and adjusted the angle of his wings. This was the first time he had ever seen a diamond dog in the flesh. He only knew about them because of pictures in books and read about encounters in the wild.
Stupid potty, can't you just shut up and find the jewels?
Did we just skip to
Oh
another?
God, no. I'm not again.
Oh my God! I just read that. This is gonna be fun, isn't it?
I don't want to do that accent. The great and powerful Trixie refuses to waste her natural magical talent digging up rocks.
For a moment, just for a moment, Mercury wasn't sure who should be the one who should be rescuing. The moment passed, and he dove, twisting into a spiral as he snatched the unicorns out of the hands of Cartos. Coincidentally, he also saved the diamond of these poor defenseless unicorns that have been I can't stop laughing. This is awesome. Recently kicking it in the head. The other two large diamond dogs barked in outrage of losing their prize, but didn't seem too inclined to put up chase or fight about it. Within
I love
seconds,
how
what?
I love how the assumption is that ever since Rarity, it seems like the assumption is that Diamond Dogs are now under the impression that all unicorns have the ability to just find gems.
At the very least, the one close to Ponyville.
Yes.
Within seconds, Mercury was high in the air and out of reach anyway.
Oh, hey, wait, yawn. It's like 7. I'll have you somewhere safe in a minute, ma'am.
Royal guards didn't normally speak, but there were exceptions. Mercury had a feeling this was one of them. The soft blue unicorn mare in his front legs was rigid for a second, only to relax as she threw her front legs around him, squeezing tightly.
Ma'am, that's a little tight. The great and powerful Trixie doesn't like heights.
He didn't notice her furiously blushing until after he ripped it off her. He dropped her off, sorry. Bluebot terribly briefly, just in time to relieve his guard.
Sorry,
He wished conspiratorially.
but that one was better left to you than me.
The sixth mare left Ponyville in their personal carriage. There's also... What was the point of that, by the way? Did we just...
I'm assuming that the guard Mercury is somebody's OC, and the deal is that they have that they're going to fall in love with Trixie. Oh, the great and powerful Trixie has a great and powerful crush on the guard who saved her from the great and nasty Diamond Dogs.
The sixth mare left Ponyville in the personal carriage. There is also sparkle transformation of an apple. Bluebot followed ahead in his own chariot before motitioning of...
What did you say?
Motitioning or something.
Motioning
for...
Motitioning.
Oh, I get it. Motioning for his guard to take to the air. The pair choosing for dutifully not asking question, did as ordered, circling around and to the rear. This close to the Canterlot, a procession of carriages were standing to converge along the roads leading to the palace. On one carriage, however, had encountered a spot of trouble. Though an old and dignified heirloom, it had clearly seen... Wow, I can't speak today. It had clearly seen better days. Pulled by two ponies, it had not been responding well to hitting a divot in the road, causing one of the wooden spikes in the front left wheel to break. It had been slugging along regardless, on basically 3 good wheels, until eventually 2 drivers stopped by and worked some sort of temporary fix.
Sir!
One of the guard Pegasus rumbled as Bluebot's chariot came around to land.
Yes, I know, I've heard it before.
The prince replied. It should have been a groan of despair, but there was a smile on his face. His horn glowed as he jumped off the back, easily levitating up the afflicted quarter of an old carriage. A pair of elderly earth ponies stopped their muffled bickering about their flight to look out the stagecoach window.
My word!
The old mare of the pair gasped.
Is that...
The young gentleman recognized him too. They both did, every time.
Your Grace? Mr. and Mrs. Clover, isn't it?
Bluebot asked, letting his magic do all the actual work. Already he had spare wheel out, just the right grace, of course, and screwed unwound as he removed the broken one.
We can't have ponies late to the Grand Galloping Gala, now can we? Just sit back and relax, I'll be done in a minute.
The two-haired pony driver just stared at the royal unicorn as he had more hairs than a hydra. He hummed to himself as he worked.
This time we'll have the best night ever at the gala.
He arrived, naturally.
I have no idea if that's actually how that tune would go.
You haven't heard that song in a while?
It's been a long time.
He arrived, naturally.
That's one of the episodes I've only ever seen once.
He arrived,
I need to go back and
naturally, right on time to proceed the 6 Mares of Honor. Looking none the worse to wear despite of the leader's detour, Blue was seated his chariot and took in the magnificent sight of the Canterlot Castle, built into the side of the mountain like a hunting garden. Green fields and hills stretched out and rolled, dotted by perfectly maintained trees of rose and flowering bushes. A cascading waterfall fame in the inward wing of the palace, following certainly from a magical spiral that recycled the water as it fell into the lake below. Golden spires and onion domes, crowned white and pink marble towers, rose behind the Regalis Gate main facade.
I hardly ever looked at it from the outside before today.
He realized.
Whatever today even means to someone like me.
That's a good point. Ponies in their finery stopped to bow graciously as his unannounced entrance. Then things got interesting as the crimson red carriage behind his chariot opened.
I can't believe we're finally here. Oh wait, that's Twilight. How would Twilight say that?
I don't know.
I can't believe we're finally here.
That's good.
I don't know.
That was good. Was the first one to exclaim. Almost like magic, other ponies began to draw themselves towards the maze, mesmerized by some sort of karmic magnetism. Blue Blood stepped aside out of the way. He didn't feel it. Whatever state force compelled those ponies to sing and dance, he just didn't feel it. He never did. Even now, he never did.
That makes it sound like there's like some natural magical force that ties all ponies into whenever one starts singing, all of them start singing.
Still, he didn't let that small fact bother him. Everything was going swimmingly. Not too long ago, this song had driven me out of the brink of insanity. Hearing it every night, just hammer it now, just hammer home now, helpless and trapped as he longed about one day, this one night, over and over, to never die or grow old or change the hand fame that dealt him time and time again. Now, this close to it, he found himself enjoying the spectacle. To be just not. Let's not sing.
Our hopes from now until hereafter, all that we've been wishing for will happen at the gala.
Perfect. This time different than before. The one unicorn single. Wait, what? That one unicorn.
Oh, really quick.
Yeah.
We should. Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. The unicorn singled out of here, flanked by chariots of ponies, many whom Bluebud knew by name by now. She murmured deeply at Bronte, singing her verse.
They were made for rarity. They will have just as regal leather gallop. Like, I'm not a singer.
The look she was giving him was one Bluebud knew all too well. Infatuation. He'd seen it so many times in so many mares with starry-eyed dreams of royal families and courtly romance. But there was no courtly romance. The real family such as it was a deary sham. It was nothing to sing about. It was nothing to any sane maid would want a part of. He had taken that look so many times, even before he began reliving this day. For the first time, he felt truly terrible. No, should we not?
I will find him, my Prince Charming. And how gallant he will be. He will treat me like a lady of the gala.
However, he has just barely touched his arm with her, his high spirits threatening to slip away.
Tonight we've been waiting for the gala. I'm not going to sing all of that. You can't possibly expect me to sing all of that.
I wasn't expecting you to sing anything.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to anyone watching this video. I will not sing at the gala.
They're probably expecting you to stop, like they are writing angry comments right now. Why is he saying? Make him stop!
That's probably true. Shut up.
As she did. Wait, as she always did, Twilight ran ahead to meet with the princess. Celestia herself stood proud and at the permanent frog of the oratory chamber, greeting the long line of guests as they filled the men. I have no idea how to pronounce that.
The menagerie.
It was a grueling week of showmanship
Showmanship.
that Bluebell knew his auntie didn't particularly enjoy. Sadly for her and for him, there was little either of them could do about it. It was a gala ritual. Many ponies came out solely to be greeted by the princess herself.
That's interesting. I wonder how Celestia feels about that.
Yeah, probably not too
It's
fun.
like, there are visiting hours. You could just come stop by.
He had told Twilight as much, and reminded her to be patient. Every gala was the same for Celestia. Every gala was a display. Bluebell was starting to realize, finally, why his aunt had invited the elements of harmony, knowing they would cause some sort of scene. It wasn't that she hated the gala, as Bluebell had come to for a time. She just needed some small, tiny release from the repetition and monotony. More than anyone else alive. If he was alive, Bluebell understood how she was feeling. That's what her eyelid lit up when she saw her precious puzzle into the room.
Is something wrong?
He blinked, a little thrown to have heard a voice next to him. Of course, he wasn't alone tonight.
You had a far-off look.
Reddy observed, appearing worried.
Not that I mean to pry. No,
He replied, giving off a confident air.
it's nothing. Please, allow me to introduce you to the princess. I'd be delighted. I can't do girls.
Your voice is way too
I
manly.
have too deep a voice to be a girl.
It was just a gesture, really. Celestia knew from Rarity Celestia knew Rarity from the Nightmare Moon adventure. At least in passing, Rarity herself had already met the princess. Again, at least in passing, atop of the stair. At least in passing. Atop of the stair, Twilight and Celestia were already starting to get swamped after exchanging a few words.
Auntie,
Bluebell bowed respectfully.
a pleasure as always to be in your presence. This is Miss Rarity. Princess?
Rarity bowed as the flawless as proper as anyone would expect.
Honestly, you two.
Celestia,
No, wait, that's Celestia speaking, sorry. Honestly, you two.
Celestia nodded in a courteous exasperation.
No need to stand on such formality with me. I can't do Celestia either. I can't do anybody.
Just
kill me now.
Just read them normally if you can't do the voices.
In that case, Auntie, may I ask you where Princess Luna has gone to?
He looked around.
She should be here, or waiting to come out? All that.
The Princess of the Sun said sadly.
I do appreciate you trying to convince her to come, Blue Blood, but she's told me that she's simply not ready to make public appearances yet. Such a shame. Tonight would be a perfect night to have some fun. She declined? Again?
He cringed at the last word slipping out.
Maybe next year.
Celestia must.
I see.
That one thing never worked out. Not unless he stayed the whole day at the palace, he motioned for them to continue with the gala proper.
Shall we, Miss Red?
Before the leave, however, he felt that he needed to whisper to the magical... Whoa, I can't speak. He felt the need to whisper to the waiting magical prodigy.
Please bear with the formality, Miss Sparkle.
He knew how impatient she was to spend time with the princess.
There will be ample time after the opening ceremonies.
Leaving the princess with her student behind, Rarity felt compelled to ask having heard or guessed at the exchange.
The ceremonies are 2 hours, aren't they? Yeah.
He replied, unhappy with the fact.
I wasn't able to change that. Miss Sparkle will just have to be patient. Well,
Rarity mentioned, keeping that beat.
We do have all night, don't we? We do,
he answered with a smirk.
Nothing will ruin this night. Now would my lady enjoy a tour of the Grand Pavilion?
Watch like out of nowhere, just change click attack the castle.
What? Oh, we changed our mind.
We won't wait till next year. We'll attack now. Oh God!
Oh my gosh! What if, like, at the end of it, this turns out to be a huge joke, and it's changelings? Like, they kidnapped Blue Blood just with his head, and they've been doing the same thing over and over and over again. And meanwhile, back at Candlelight, Celestia's like, Where is he? Oh,
They'll,
he's probably on a cruise or something. I'm sure he'll be home eventually.
they'll be
And then
hilarious.
Luna's like, hasn't he been gone for like a year? Yes, well, he's never been out of the country, and we do have quite the world to see. Who knows? Maybe he's dead. Um,
Oh my god.
and then, what's her, Chrysalis just shows up one day, and she's like, so, Blue Blood, have you enjoyed your stay in hell? And he's like, what do you mean?
Let's just
Well,
the
you
private
see,
gardens. Let's keep going before we get too off track.
that's true. We
That
don't
was
need
funny
another.
though.
It would think about it. That'd be hilarious.
That will be like hilarious.
What about all those times I died? We knocked you out 6 feet above the ground. We knocked you out right before you could do it, and yeah.
That was fun though, wasn't it?
Huh?
That was fun though, wasn't it? It was a good joke, good prank.
Oh yeah, just like fun though, right? We've been practicing. Bluebird's just like, the hell is wrong with you? Kingslings are sick.
The private gardens were as wonderful as Fluttershy had imagined. Cutting the side of a you
What?
you say the word because I can't. Meadowlark?
It's a meadowlark. It's a bird.
She skipped away happily
Bird.
away from the noise and bustle of the ponies at the open grounds. She wasn't there for them. She wasn't there for them after all. She was there to experience the exotic and to encounter the rare and unique animals that made their home among the branches and boughs of Celestia's personal retreat. Tangled rose bushes around an arch passed over her as she left the most visible section of the area behind her. Already, the quiet background murmur of the voices was giving away the chirping and singing of the natural chorus. Trees and bushes, shrubing and ferns, unlike anything she had ever seen around Ponyville, surrounded the nature noble Pegasus. Feeling uninhabited, Fluttershy opened wide and sang to the bird, having lost it amongst the maze of foliage. Her melodious voice carrying around easily in the wind. Smiling at the sound of the whistling in response, she skipped ahead, or it turned into a single stark sign.
No! Please do not disturb the animals.
Well, it wasn't as if she was disturbing them exactly. Pursing a little ribbon and around the manicured head, Fluttershy's wings flared and signaled another sign. This one a little bit odd.
Please, please, please,
It pleaded.
do not disturb the animals.
There was also a picture of a bear, a monkey, and a bear with a circle of 9 through them. Fluttershy was on the verge of saying or doing something unfeel-like when she caught one line of writing in the sand.
For safe wildlife encounters, please see a royal game warden.
And the pretty Pegasus mare pursed her lips unhappily. She didn't need a warden. She wasn't going to disturb the animals. On the other hoof,
Wait a second!
What?
That said a monkey! There's never been a monkey in the show.
I think we've seen.
No, there haven't ever been primates. The closest thing was a troll in one of the comic books, and the minotaurs, but those don't really count as primates.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
It does matter. It does. To anyone who holds the headcanon that humans once lived in Equestria, it matters. But to us, I guess it doesn't matter. So continue.
Hold on a second. I need to do something, and you people watching are probably like, "What the fuck is he doing?" You will see. There we go. Problem solved. She didn't need a warning. She wasn't going to disturb the animals. On the other hoof, the sign had said, "Please," not just once, but a few times now. Thinking about Fluttershy hadn't forgotten the incident with Philomena either. These animals in Castle Garden were very rare and precious. It made for a certain degree of sense that it wouldn't want anybody just to handle them. Bears could also be quite dangerous if a pony wasn't well versed in bear foo or bear wrestling.
Bear foo!
Oh my god. Bear punch. Those are always good.
Bear foo.
Not that Fluttershy, would have these problems. Others though, especially sweet little foals, it wouldn't do for them just to run around the gardens disturbing bears. What? What?
I'm sorry, finish the line. I'm so immature.
What?
Keep reading.
Okay. Especially during around the gardens, disturbing, especially to little folks. It wouldn't do for them just to run around the gardens, disturbing bears nesting in the trees and dozing bears and poof fleeting spider monkeys. These monkeys especially could be quite a hopeful for the unprepared. Yes, the more foolish I thought about it, the more sensitive, especially for a night like the gala when hundreds of money will be hanging around that the staff would want to minimize the impact that the party made on the gardens and wildlife. She looked around for the royal game warden, and coincidentally found them trimming some bushes. She would have mistaken for some sort of gardener with the beat of with the beat of with the beaten up old hat in his head, tool belt, and the fantasy that he was probably purring 60.
I got some news for you, Fluttershy. I don't think he's a game warden. He's a gardener.
She would have, if not for the rather elaborate beds that hung around his torso in frontlights. It was green and white, and the seals outside were vividly proclaimed Royal Chief Game Warden.
Gee, I wonder where he got that.
Felicia smiled happily. This had to be one of the police she needed. Soon she sees a wildlife adventure, and one that followed the rules too. The Royal Chief Game Warden, why did he feel the need to say that so many times, whistled to himself while he trimmed the hedge, and Fluttershy realized he was perfectly mimicking the meadowlark she had saw before. Maybe she had even followed the song that had been him all along. Why this was?
Perfect. Oh, excuse me.
He called out to the game warden. He just kept walking, whistling all the while.
I, if it isn't too much trouble,
He just
I'm
kept,
not gonna do this anymore. I'm sorry.
he just kept working, switching his hair for a rake.
Excuse me.
She tried again, a bit louder and a bit more assertive. He turned his head, leaning for the rake for support.
Yep.
He asked, simple as that.
I was wondering, you're a royal game warden?
The,
The chief of them, or so I've heard.
the old pony replied.
I was just hoping, since the sign said, I'd like to have some wildlife adventures.
She said, then at him a little more loudly.
Please? Wildlife encounters?
He asked, seemingly confused, and then his eyes opened wide.
Oh, you must be that Pegasus filly.
Fluttershy ducked low, her pink mane falling over her eyes.
I am a Pegasus filly, you mean? Sure, wildness encounters.
The old tooth cuckolded, swinging the rake over his shoulder.
Stay close now. How about we start with the bird feeders we set up this morning?
Bird feeders?
Feeders? Oh,
She hurried and to keep up with the game warden.
that'll be nice. Fluttershy is super creeped out right now.
Well, at
What do you
least
do? You've been stalking me. You've been planning this all along. The galler's a trap.
it didn't
It's a
take
trap.
it didn't take long to find the perfect spot to set up shop. A quick kick and the food stall unfolded, the side popping out and a pair of small flanks snapping out and waving the breeze. Applejack had decided the busy thoroughfare next to the western Mengerie, but outside where there was more traffic. Since so much of that wing was reserved for the Wonderfuls and their little VIP get-together, this spot would allow it to catch the eye of most every pony leaving that station for the other two. It was also open air, so there was no obstruction and plenty of space for customers to meet around and eat. The only thing dampening the apple farmer's optimistic mood was what he had for sale. The original happened to mostly sell plain apples and bottled apple cider, with a little extra from the apple family style: fritters, fries, dumpling, and pies. It was a combination that had already hit the spot back in Ponyville, whether during holidays or sport events. All that he had been put aside since the buffet was giving much more takeaways for free.
Be decadent.
That was the
I
plan
like that
anyway.
word when it's used to describe food. Decadent.
Not just in spirit, but in writing. What?
I have to...
That makes no sense in my head, but sure.
Wait, say what?
Be decadent. I'm assuming that that's what you mean by writing.
Be decadent.
Okay. She had somehow been taken to actually writing "Be Decadent" on the front of the car. Sup Supersmara over the original apple and stylized hearts. She still had the cider and had cider bottles, but her main selling point had to be the revamped pies and tarts, opening and sliding tray. She carefully put them away on display, each one with a slice of pie slightly tilted to the side and decorated with frilly apple cores on the skin, to give it a soul-like appearance. Caramel and chocolate made out the outlines of the Princess Cutie mark all over each plate. Momentarily distracted, she didn't notice when a stallion with a distinctive blue and gold of the Wonderballs had
Oh my...
wandered over.
It's him! Sorry. It's funny. Hey, what's that?
He asked, moving in for a closer look.
Apple pie! I love apple pie! Hungry, are you, partner?
Applejack quickly put in her face again and became all smiles.
Sure am!
The Wonderbolt exclaimed, salivating on the dishes in display.
Hungry as a horse! How much for a slice of pie? 10 bits. How much was that? 10.
Applejack.
Why aren't you reading?
Sorry, I got confused for a second. I don't know why. I had a brain fart. The mysterious blue brunette, I think he's here towards her.
10.
Applejack said a little more clearly.
10 bits. 10 bits?
The Wonderbolt yelled and whistled loudly.
Too rich for my blood, even for pie. Looks real pretty, though.
Applejack walks as a through. Wow, she's probably gonna be very angry.
Well, if you keep reading.
Applejack watched as the Pegasus strode off on the verge of yelling at him to come back. She had lost a customer. She had lost a customer. She had almost felt like she was like, not only that she had lost a customer, it happened because of her food was overpriced. That had never happened. Not even since she was a filly. All she ever got was prices wrong on mistake. Applejack reached out her hoof, her pride at the war with a better nature. All too soon, the Wonderbolt was out of cajoling range. She had lost him, lost a customer.
Excuse me, miss.
A jasmine yellow colored mist snapped Applejack out of her stunned state. She blinked, focused on her intrusion. The mare in front of her had a deep blue mane and an elegant purple and blue dress.
Yes?
Applejack asked, still a sort of a haze.
I'd like to try one of your tarts,
she said, sounding impatient.
10 bits? Really? Oh, yes, 10 bits.
Applejack repeated and handed over one of the platters. They had to be expressive looking, at least they didn't need to be super fine. Each one was a little a bit itself, honestly. Each one was
a half a bit itself.
Oh,
She's
I
saying
get it.
how much it would cost.
Applejack wasn't sure she had been thinking what she had been thinking investing so much in such short notice, but then suddenly 10 bits fell in her wooden money jar.
Oh, yes.
The Soviet used a fork to sample some of the... What? Socialite used a fork to sample some of the repackaged pie.
Boy. Quite delicious,
she said with authority.
Just the right amount of cinnamon, simply divine.
Still a little shell shock, Applejack was slow to reply.
Thank you very much.
Barely 20 seconds passed before two ponies took the mare's place, a stallion and his wife, or mare friend. Both were impeccably well dressed. The stallion even had a top hat. Applejack could hardly believe it when he ordered 2 slices, one for himself and one for his date. 10 please plus 10 bits. Why do they feel the need to... Whatever. 20 bits in 20 seconds, plus 10 before the first sale.
I don't believe it.
She muttered and stared as more of the customer began to head her way. She had a limited stock after all. Bulbot had even told her that what was an advantage, not a problem. Less is more is all he had to say. Her food was exclusive, only a few would get to eat it. Be decadent. It wasn't long before the jingle of a gold washed away was what was left of her hesitation. Applejack was no Big Mac when it came to fancy numbers, but if she sold out tonight at a 10 bloody bits a slice, she would end up with a profit almost of 10,000 bits. It boggled the mind.
Really quick, just something I don't think a lot of people realize. 10 bloody bits. Bloody, that word from England and that area of the world. Saying bloody with something is a pretty bad swear word for those. Like, I mean, just like an equivalent. To use now, if somebody who is listening knows better and I'm wrong, please leave a comment because I hate being wrong. But according to what I understand from people who have lived in and been in England for several years, to use the word bloody in description of something like, oh, bloody, bloody bits and things like that. Bloody is almost an equivalent as far as offensiveness
to say
or,
fucking?
like, kind of like the F word. So, like, children are like,
Yeah, I get it.
Basically, they treat it like a swear word for kids, but it's like, it's not.
Yes, I get what you mean. Just keep reading.
Also don't like the word piddling. They don't like it when you say quit piddling around. I found that out on accident. I said, hey, quit piddling around, and he got all offended.
Go ahead, keep reading before... don't get too sidetracked.
I just don't believe it. Always hungry after a show, eh, Soren? You know it. I was looking for you. Let's hit the buffet. Honestly, you're like a giant parasite or something. It's a metabolism thing. Don't blame me because you're jealous.
Soren and Spitfire laughed across the VIP lounge on their way to Mengeres, Cropius, and the swing. The pair just missed a cyan Pegasus in a rainbow-colored dress as she approached the two steel grey security unicorns that checked tickets and IDs, acting cool as she trailed behind a Wonderbolt with a white and blue tail and mane. The blurry unicorn held up a hood to stop her.
Hey guys, chill. Check this out.
She held up one wing, revealing her VIP pass.
I'm totally in.
The guards limply stepped back, bombing her on a silent apology. Dash took a few more steps, cool as ice. Oh God, it is.
I like this
oh my
word.
God.
I like where this is going.
Oh God.
Before a fantastic
struck, throwing her cool dementor into the punch bowl. By her own count, almost every Wonderwall was in this one room. Not just all active Wonderwalls either. They were retired greats too. Some of them were with their families, so she probably wouldn't be able to hang out with them. But most of them were free. They were just chatting with some celebrities and each other. This was awesome. Hardly knowing.
You gotta say it like Rainbow Dash.
I can't.
This was
no.
awesome. Sorry.
Hardly knowing where to begin, she zipped over to the closest table. A beautiful rhythmic canon filled it. Wait, what? Oh, this must be Pinkie Pie.
That's the thing that's the song that was mentioned at the beginning.
A beautiful rhythmic canon filled the dance hall with a mengerie ursay, I think.
The Menagerie ursay. You know what I'm curious about though? Why would they have Paco Bell?
Wait, what?
That's a wedding song.
I don't know. It was a
like that's the song that's like da, 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 or no, maybe I'm wrong. No, anyways, they play it at weddings.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Don't worry.
Why it would be here? Maybe it is a marriage.
A beautiful rhythmic canon filled the dance hall. I'm just gonna ignore you if you don't stop. It was a place of reflection and a soft-spoken conversation. Most of the guests weren't quite ready for the. I'm sorry. What were you trying to say? I interrupt you on purpose.
No, I was just saying I think it'd be funny. They're playing the song that they normally play at weddings. What if Blue Blood's doing it on purpose because he's going to propose to Rarity and show her how much the royal life sucks, and then Rarity will run away.
That will be funny.
And it will be a bittersweet thing for him.
It was a place of reflection and a soft-spoken conversation. Most of the guests weren't quite ready to dance yet, preferring to nibble on. Oh my god. You do it.
Say this again. What does I do?
Preferring to nibble on.
Preferring to nibble on hors d'oeuvres and leisurely fraternize. The acoustics of the Ursay and the two accompanying salons
were fantastic. I kept going. And the quiet melody of the quartet on the stage could be easily heard at the furthest table. High society ponies lipped champagnes and discussed the artwork on display, offering critiques and description of their own collections and personal preferences in style and composition. Pinkie Pie. Pinkamena Diane Pie, that was, entered with a soft round of her hooves on the dance floor. She did not bounce. Oh, but she wanted to. But she did not. The shiny
dance floor. It was quite a nice dance floor.
I'm not sure how to read this.
I'll read it because it's her thinking. So I think that counts, I guess.
Go.
I don't know. Oh, and there were so many pretty ponies. Yes, there were many fine individuals present. And the fancy band! The Canterlot Chamber Orchestra would be quite fancy, yes.
She reminded herself. Literally, this was not that kind of party.
She knew that, silly filly.
Wait, is she talking to herself inside her own mind?
Totally. I think it's funny because this seems to be playing off the aspect that she almost seems to have a split personality between when she's Pinkamena and Pinky, at least as far as many fans recognize it.
Nonetheless, if she was to claim the premier party pony, then this too was a form of party that she needed to be experienced. Pinky knew this.
Oh, but the shiny dance floor, the pretty party ponies, shiny, pretty, fancy. She would dance as soon as the opportunity arose.
All she had
to do. I can totally hear this conflict in her head.
Yeah.
Like I can just see.
You know what? You read this. You're better than me on this. You read this part.
Where?
You keep reading. All she had to do was you keep reading from there.
All she had to do was show a little patience and composure. Remember what the book said? Remember what the nice prince said? A lady did not just barge in. Fixing her long straight hair, Pinkamena listened to the music. She knew the type of music. She simply had to apply what she had hastily learned. Parties were her specialty, after all. She could do this, even on such short notice. There was no party which she could not master. Analyzing the musical
I can just imagine the amount of force he had to do to restrain, not just jumping.
Oh, I can't imagine. Let's see. Analyzing the musical canon, she picked out the beat. Determined the necessary steps, she could dance to this. Dance! She would dance to this as soon as the opportunity arose. Jumping in would not be conducive to long-term dancing and enjoyment. First, Blue Blood had insisted she needed to mingle. Walking slowly towards a promising pair of stallions, she flashed a small, friendly smile as they noticed her approach. Pinkamena was being a bit bolder than she had been told to be.
Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. I had a slight problem. Keep going.
Technical difficulties. We continue. Pinkamena was being a bit bolder than she had been told to be, but it couldn't be helped. Pinkie Pie was naturally impatient. The music is quite lovely, isn't it? She asked. One of the stallions, a large ochre gentle colt with a blonde mane the same color as Applejack's, tittered and adjusted his red cravat neckcloth. He was a unicorn.
Why did you say that like it was Russian?
Huh?
Why did you say that like it was Russian?
What?
Never mind, just keep going.
By the way, I'm apparently Russian.
Just keep going.
He was a unicorn, but with the sort of large build that Pinkamena had noticed most Canterlot unicorns had. It was different from the ones in Ponyville, like Pokey. Here, for whatever reason, the unicorn stallions were taller and heavier than their Earth pony counterparts. Wasn't unattractive, but it was a little intimidating when you were used to the opposite.
I could imagine that.
His friend was an earth pony with the rather common hourglass cutie mark. Why is that common?
I don't know.
Why is hourglass common? Why? Sorry. His mane was close cut and styled, and a shade of distinctive but not bright orange. He also wore a simple collar and a red bow tie. He smiled at her, and she noticed he had golden eyes. I must claim them.
They shall be mine.
Pinkamena decided he would be her first target. She would dance with him. She needed a partner for the marché. Yes, I heard the Candlelight Chamber Orchestra play at the Rainsworth last year, the unicorn replied. The cellist is new, but quite good. Archavia, I believe, the earth pony supplied the name. But where are my manners? He gestured to the unicorn first. Sunbeam. Oh, God.
What?
I'm sorry. Inside joke that you will never get.
Okay.
I don't know why. The noble pony introduced himself, and then himself. Blue Shift, the earth pony said, inclining his head politely. Pinkamena Diane Pie, she curtsied. Inside her, Pinky was vibrating enough to very nearly explode. Just hold on a little longer, would you? She wanted to dance. Even if it was slow, kind of boring dancing, she was here to dance. She wanted to dance and party and maybe sing, oh, and jump on stage and... Pinkamena had to fight to remain outwardly calm. Blue-Blooded stressed that several times. She had to remain calm and ladylike, just like Rarity. Act like Rarity, but not exactly like Rarity. Mostly like Rarity.
Oh my god, this is hilarious.
Because if he told her to act exactly like Rarity,
I can imagine her just like
she would be.
No, I'm sure that that she has like a disguise for each one of their friends.
I'm sorry. You'll never get that. Anybody who recognizes that tune and why I laughed at that name, high five and send me a message.
Probably no
Nico,
one, but keep going.
You are never going to get it. I'm very sorry.
I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure, like she has like a disguise for each one of her friends. We seen that disguise of Fluttershy once. Remember?
Oh yeah, that giant weird mask.
Yes.
That thing is weird. Did you see? Okay, this is like a really quick thing. The giant Fluttershy costume.
Yes, that was what I was talking about.
Did you see the? Somebody made a picture. It was Nightmare Night, and Luna was in that and like knocked on Fluttershy's door. Fluttershy's just losing her mind. Like, where did you get? And Luna's just sitting there yelling, "The pink one had many." It was funny.
I get it.
Yeah.
The music changed.
So, do you want to switch back, or do you want me to keep reading?
No, you keep reading this part because it's way too funny how she keeps changing back and forth.
Okay. The music changed to a similar slow piece. Pinkamena found herself liking this one a bit more than the last. It was a little faster, but it still had a very simple three-step movement to it. She could dance to this. She needed to dance to this, or Pinkie Pie would do it for her. A spell that would allow one to visit Cloudsdale. Sunbeam took a drink from his glass and licked his lips as he tried to think of the implications. Naturally, you'd need to attach it to an amulet or charm of some sort. It wouldn't do to keep recasting it every 6 or 7 hours or what have you. But imagine the looks on your friends' faces when you tell them I have a summer home in Cloudsdale, Blue Shift breezily joked. Of course, you must say it straight-faced. They'd been talking about the trip Pinkamena shared about the Young Flyers competition. Blue, she used just his first name, catching his immediate attention. Would you care to dance? He paused and smiled, growing agreeable. That would be quite nice, Miss Pinkamena. Sunbeam, hold my drink, would you? Finally! Dancing, funny, fancy music, fun! Yes, it was time for fun.
Yes, you are definitely better for this. At least for now.
Oh, shush. Are you calling me crazy?
Yes.
Good, because I am. The two Earth ponies stepped out into the dance floor, their intent obvious. A few who had been standing around near the middle of the dance floor noticed and gave room. A few others, mostly high society mares, also took a brief intermission in their gossip to watch. Pinkamena felt their eyes on her, and it only fed the inner dynamo of her excitement. But the excitement was mixed with just a bit of trepidation.
What the hell
This
is
was
that?
a new dance. Huh?
What is trepidation?
Tell you what, while I keep reading, you look that up in the dictionary, and then when you find it, we will pause briefly for you to read the definition.
No. Just keep going. No.
This was a new dance. She had practiced with Prince Blueblood as long as he had free time, and she had read all she could while getting ready and on the trip over. Blue Shift bowed flowingly, and Pinkamena made sure to do the same. Here we go! She had to watch him. He was her partner for the dance. The stallion was supposed to make the
Did
first
you just knock
step.
something over?
No, I set something down and it made more noise than I was expecting. Stallion was supposed to take the first step. As she'd expected, he took a step back, and she took a step forward. He stepped to the left, and she to the right. He started off with just basic moves, and soon Pinkamena found she didn't have to watch his hooves. She could tell just from the music and from his upper body. I sound like I'm giving a documentary. And then, years later, she found him again, and they danced the night away, and it was a happily ever after for Pinkamena, Diane Pie. This was in.
It's like reading a nighttime story by Dr. Crazy.
Shut up.
The tempo.
The tempo of the cannon picked up just a little. But Pinkamena knew it was a prelude to things slowing down a little later. Their steps matched, and with a smile, Blue Shift motioned with a hoof and turned on a slant. She quickly did the same, twirled around, her dress brushing against his legs. She'd picked well. Lucky, Blue Shift was a good dancer. Pinkamena shared a smile with him as the music slowed, easing down to the end of the piece. Perhaps feeling a little emboldened by her ability to keep pace so well, he used a new move, a glissade to the left. He flowed easily, gliding to the side, and she followed. They matched marches for a few more steps.
I don't know if I should feel happy or completely bad that I have no idea what they're doing.
To be honest, I don't know what a glissade is either, so. Or if it's pronounced a glissade. That just doesn't sound right to me.
I have never done a...
Took a glissade to the right and ended with a flourish.
I have never been a casual dance.
Raised it high and pulled her into a pirouette. Now that I know what that is.
Yes, I know what that is.
They came apart, each taking a step back and bowed. Pinky was, for a moment, silent. So was the dance hall. Then, oh so quietly at first, mares and stallions began to clap, gently tapping their hooves on the shiny floor. Opposite her, Blue Shift was breathing a little heavily. Is he fat?
No, he's probably tired.
I know how to dance like this. I may not know the words, but I know the dance. May not be the best at it, but I can dance. It's not that hard, okay? This is not Morticia and Gomez.
Well, he lifted her whole he lifted her whole body up in the air, so.
I don't know. Maybe she's.
Remember, these guys never do any kind of physical training. These are Canterlot ponies.
No, but that never mind. Let's see. He was all smiles as he stood back up. On stage, the band paused a short while, and then began another quiet piece of classical music. Inside, Pinky was cheering, exultant with triumph and accomplishment. She had done it, despite never even having heard this sort of music before today. She had gone out on the dance floor and done it. Better still, she had waited a little while, talked to a nice new colt, and then gone out and shown every pony her stuff. Had she been Rainbow Dash, she'd have been proclaiming how awesome it was. She was. but she was Pinkamena Diane Pie. So she just giggled inwardly and planned her next move. She had done it. She was, without a doubt, a peerless party pony. It's too bad cheese sandwich wasn't written yet. Blue Shift retrieved his drink, and he and Sunbeam resumed their conversation. Pinkamena lingered, joining in as necessary. Mingling, that was a party skill too. This gala mingling was just so different from the kind she was used to. The dance bug was out of her system, at least for a little while. But she wasn't tired yet.
Oh.
No, not even close.
Yeah, like Pinky will get tired from this.
The high of accomplishing what she herself had wondered if she could do was also beginning to fade. The answer was, clearly, more challenging dances. And more ponies. She could see, feel, that there were other ponies here just waiting for the chance to dance too. A few mares were discreetly watching her back as they spoke amongst themselves. Pinky was willing to bet that they wanted to dance too. They just didn't have anyone to dance with. Or maybe they just wanted to gossip more first. She had had fun. It was fun, wasn't it? This is why she had come to the gala, to party. Yes, Pinkamena had had fun. She was sure of it. Pinky was strangely quiet.
And now it's my turn to resume the reading.
Hang on.
Yes.
That last line scares me.
Oh, yeah, I just
was
realized.
Strangely quiet. I'm sitting here thinking, why? Why is Pinky quiet?
This doesn't bode well. Perfect. The gala was going perfectly. Blueblood smiled inwardly. Not that the light took place for the degree.
Whoa, wait a minute. How do you smile inwardly?
Well, you have a mental smile, like you don't smile, but you're like happy, I guess.
Okay. Well, because like in my head, for some reason, I was like smiled inwardly as opposed to outwardly, and immediately I'm sitting here thinking, is like lips curl inside out or something? It just looked weird in my head.
Not the dignified placeholder green he wore on the outside, but a big childish green. This sort of green that says, "Stop that! Stop! Dude, stop!"
That'd be a fun song for the gala. Anybody who knows that song, send me a comment. Sorry.
I know what.
Go ahead.
Nope, this is your turn.
I know what's in this present. This is the one thing I've wanted all year. I know what's in there, and it's all mine. Mine! Ah! No, sorry. That's not a...
That sort of smile. Now he just needed to...
That sort of smile.
Now he just needed to play the part of a prince and occasionally teleport away to take care of 3 or 4 little gala disturbances. Luckily, Rarity was quite accommodating. All he had to do was rewind her that he had some important errand to do and a quickly run, or some gala function to see to, and he was willing to wait a minute or two. It probably didn't matter to her what he was doing exactly. What mattered that what the gala was going to was that the gala was as whole went. Wait, what? What mattered was that the gala was as a whole went to plan. He had to the end been a perfect Gana gentle. No tricks, no fun at her exposed. It actually wasn't as terrible as he used to find it when he played along on certain gala loops. They had walk around the pavilion and made a small talk about fashion and art. She had been bought by equestrian crew jewels and gone on at length about the various grades of cuts and weights. Not simply a dressmaker, she had accomplished in all matters of setting and arranging and cutting gemstones. He had tried to throw her off an element a bit by taking her to a amber salon. It was off limits to the most ponies because, unlike the crown jewels, there were no security wear and it was very delicate, on the assumption that she would be much less familiar with a jewel that wasn't really a jewel. To his surprise and amusement, she had quickly determined why he had taken her there, and found it amusing as well. The room was visually breathtaking, as she had used to But he had used a prac- practiced eye to pick out the many shades, some bold and some subtle, that gave the salon its legendary reputation. She was less well versed in art. It was a subject that the Bluebird knew by rote. It was it was a proper thing for a prince of high court, for any high court official to be pronouncing, and thus Prince. What the hell?
It was thus princely, and something she no doubt expected of him.
As such, he took her on a brief tour of some playground, putting out more of pointing out pointing wow, I can't speak. Pointing
What's
out
wrong with you,
the
man?
more inex
You on drugs?
no
Something you
impressive
need to tell
painting
me?
as murals and tap tapestries. His favorite was a gift from the Griffin tribes, made a made of dragon. Wait, what?
I wonder how Spike feels about that.
Yeah, that's okay. It took some effort not to show her that tapestry, so Lisa had hidden it away in a corner of it.
Well,
That's good. Wait, in a trophy room? Um, that's a bit awkward.
Celestia hunts. Philomena is the retriever.
But he hadn't wanted to insult the
Come, let
Griffins
us go and
by
hunt
getting
something
rid. Oh, I
exotic.
get it. I get it.
To the Griffin lands.
I get it. She didn't throw it away because she didn't want to insult the Griffins. That makes sense. Where was I? Instead, he pointed out a more recent addition, a hoof-stitched rug given today by the Plains Buffalo. It was a something crude compared to many of the fine pieces, but there was an elegance in its simplicity that he had come to understand over the last year or so of loops. Finally,
Okay, so this gives us an insight. At the beginning, you were under the impression that he's only been looping for about 6 months.
yeah,
This gives the impression that he's been looping for years.
no, for at least a year, last year.
More than a year.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because he says last year or so of loops,
Yeah.
which means that it's something he hadn't started to do until that portion of loops, which means he has been looping for no less than 3 years.
Finally,
Good
they sat
God.
under the open sky of the Mandarin Scorpius. This was both to rest their legs and to put out the night stars, and to be seen. It was important to be seen together. In fact, that was probably the most important thing. It wasn't long before the courtiers were whispering jealousy amongst each other, and the uncles threw their royal pair approving looks. Rarity was quiet for this, which he hadn't expected. It was it was the part that he had expected her to enjoy the most. Then again, no, he wasn't that surprised anymore. Making every pony yellow was something he had thought would make her happy. That it would be the high point of the evening. He had bowled it all night around it. In retrospect, he should have known better.
Is something wrong?
He asked, keeping his voice very low.
Don't you want to be seen out here with me? Oh, it isn't that.
She assured him, sitting close enough so he could feel the fabric of her shawl, the same one he remembered forcing her to use to clean a puddle of alcohol against his shoulder.
The evening has been simply wonderful. You've been a perfect host.
He frowned, but made sure she didn't see it. It was nothing then. Nothing was wrong. The gala was perfect. They sat together in a comfortable silence for a minute or two, when the sound of hoofs of soft grass grew close. Both unicorns glanced to the left, where an ember earth pony could be seen approaching without hesitation. Who else could it be? The dress was one of a kind, though it reminded Blueblood of one loop in particular, and a gala to remember.
Either of you two mind if I sit down here?
Applejack asked, standing to his left.
Oh dear.
Rarity sat up a little straighter.
There's no cushion. Don't worry about it, Sugar Cube.
Applejack replied. It took a moment for old Blueblood to realize the company was waiting for him to speak.
I don't mind.
He said,
Miss Rarity? Company would be just lovely. Thank you kindly.
Applejack, though showing manners, he found befitting of a court lady nonetheless, plopped down in the raw glass as soon as he had permission. Hair was barely glanced behind her head, as she glanced longingly up at the stars.
If I may,
Rarity asked.
how do things go with the apple cart? We sold out more than an hour ago.
Applejack answered, still gazing up at the stars through the sky.
All gone. Except for one bottle of hard cider I kept for myself. That's wonderful.
Her unicorn friend tossed.
Congratulations. I made over 1,000 bits tonight, Rarity.
Applejack drew her eyes from the heavens and stared across at her friend, and Abulba too.
1,000 bits? I ain't never made 1,000 bits in one night before.
Perfect. The bear had what she wanted. Perfect.
You don't sound happy about it.
Rarity observed as she heard across Abulba, too proud the country mare.
Applejack? I guess I'm just a little stunned is all. Plus,
She added, forcing a smile on her face.
I don't have anything to do now.
She looked contemplative, but shook her head, dismissing troublesome thoughts.
I have to thank you.
She said this time to Bulba specifically.
You were right. We made out like bandits tonight.
Applejack stared down at her hooves.
Be decadent. It worked.
The bears weren't as lively as Felicia had imagined, or maybe it was just that they were playing meditation to the barefoot in her hoof and to her. Fierce following the game warden, whose name she had learned was Green Tom, whatever that Tom was. Funny last name.
Hang on. That's an interesting thing I never would have thought about. Because, like, for us, we say, oh, he's got a green thumb. What would Pony say? He's got a green
Hoof?
foot. A hoof. He's got a green hoof tip.
And then venturing out a little on her own. She had found that the resident of the animals of the Grand Garden frustratingly, well, shy. Flightly, rather.
Flighty.
Flightly.
Broad.
Ever since getting her cutie mark, Felicia had a special bond with and away with animals. She had even befriended a manticore, or at least she had interacted with one without being eaten. She worked with bears. She worked with ponies and ferrets and mice and butterflies and bees and essentially every non-pony, non-plant form of her life she had ever encountered in Ponyville. They called to her heart, and she felt free to and unrestrained and loved and appreciated and powerful around them. Working with animals made her feel alive, like she didn't have the fear or create in the world. Other ponies made her nervous. Even her friend, she felt insecure and hesitant. Animals were different. They embraced her without reservation or duplicity or judgment. She could be herself among them. She didn't need that shy Pegasus. She could just be fully shy. These animals, though, she couldn't understand why, but they didn't come to her when she called to them. They fled when she approached him. They didn't sing back. That was the worst part. They didn't sing back, and Fluttershy couldn't understand why. In the end, she had done what as Game Warden asked. She had put a bird in her hoop and waited for the bears to come to her. They were beautiful bears too. She had seen them. She'd seen the meadowlark from before, and he had eaten out of her hoof as she prayed on the edge of the ceramic bird bath. There was a cardinal out of the most vivid red feather that she had ever seen, and not too far away she could see a rare bald-headed vulture, an animal not native to this part of Equestria at all. It wasn't just exotic animals either. Felicia had seen so many. Had what is it?
Nothing, just what's coming up.
The
reference.
It wasn't just exotic animals. Felicia had seen some common ones, like squirtles and rabbits and hares. Celestia. Oh, I get it. Celestia actually hers here. One much bigger.
What do you mean you get it? You haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I misread something.
Okay.
One much bigger than Angel Body, and period dogs, even a groundhog. Oh, somewhere. Green Thomas had said that the one was really seen. She had excited to meet those critters too. Even though she had many of them back home, it didn't explain why this one was so reluctant to get near there though. At least she had seen many new friends, acquaintances. Only a few had come close to her to touch. It was all thanks to the local game warden, Green Tom. He was a funny looking old coat, but he had help. He also told her about the rarest of animals in the garden, legendary creatures, just like Philomenia the Phoenix. Fluttershy wasn't sure if she believed the legendary Jack. Wait, what?
A jackalope, do you know what that is?
No.
A jackalope is basically a huge rabbit, a giant hare, but it has a full set of deer antlers. It has a full rack on it.
But you made for a good story. By herself, Fluttershy wasn't sure what she would have done. She would have destroyed the entire gala.
No, she would have destroyed a fifth of the entire gala. The rest would have been taken care of by Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Rainbow Dash.
Well, at least she would have crashed through the door, through the wall in chase of the animals.
You know what I just realized?
What?
In all of the chaos that happens at the best night ever, I don't think anything actually gets broken.
Yes, a few statues.
Oh, okay. A few statues? Yes. Minor damages. No, that's nothing but the finest imported marble from the Griffin lands. You know, oh, pshaw, it's nothing. Oh, it's pocket change. Please, leave before I kill you. Please.
Gently patting
Please, I don't want to kill. Celestia, what are you doing?
Gently patting one of the lasers.
That's when Luna shows up. Look, sister, what's going on? I'm going to kill. No, not again. You haven't done that in 2,000 years.
She lured close to one with a stick of clearly. Fluttershy made sure not to make any sudden movements. She smiled faintly. This was what she wanted after all, wasn't it? And she made a pony friend too, which was nice. It was nice. It was nice.
You know what I'm realizing?
What?
As hard as Blue Blood has tried, he has taken the best night ever and made it just like every other gala.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Nothing special.
And
he totally undermined Celestia's whole purpose for having the elements there.
yeah. Your turn.
Missy?
The green Tom crouched Nevada, watching her with concern. Fluttershy wiped her eyes.
Sorry, it's nothing.
She looked up at the dark night sky.
I think I'd like to see my friends.
Everything was going swimmingly, we watched the saying, to plan. Up until Blue Blood.
Just peachy.
Up until Blue Blood, nothing appeared. I'm just thinking, but like, what is he expecting to happen? I mean, is he really just expecting when the gala goes perfectly for the loot to stop? I mean,
Sorry, say that again?
they never made that entirely clear.
What?
That what was he expecting to accomplish by making the gala perfect? I mean,
I don't know. I think he was just trying to make them happy.
up until Blue Blood noticed a pair of Wonderbolts by themselves, and not with a specific chair that he arranged, tensing up.
Don't tell me I'll have to loop this again. Oops, sorry, that's too loud.
Yeah, that was really loud.
Don't tell me I'll have to loop this again to get it right.
He also froze in place. It was drastic enough that Rarity and Applejack, who had been chatting to his left and right, also stopped to stare.
Prince Blueblood?
Rarity inquired.
Just a moment, please.
He excused himself from the two mares and headed over to the table where the two Wonderbolts were relaxing. After ducking the cameras... Wait, what? Oh, I get it. After ducking the cameras, as usual, he had gotten to the point where, at most any given time, Blueblood knew where the two friends would be. They should have been with Rainbow Dash too. He knew she had gotten along with them. He knew she was happy hanging out with them. The whole bloody point of what was to her to be happy hanging out with them. Yeah, dude.
Oh, hey!
Sorain saw him coming first and pointed. Sapphire turned her head and stared.
Soren.
Spitfire.
Spitfire, yes, I know your names.
He glared up at hovering Schutterberg, chasing the pony off without a word.
Where's Rainbow Dash? Why isn't she with you? Who?
Rainbow Dash wondered, scratching his head.
Rainbow Dash. Oh, her!
Spitfire got it first. She always did.
You mean the kid who won the Best Young Flyers competition, the one who saved you in
He
Clownsdale?
cut it off.
Exactly, her. She's also the element of loyalty? Where is she?
Sora shrugged, not knowing.
I'm sorry, Prince Blueblood.
Spitfire apologized, didn't back down. Even with his temper rising, he grown to like that about her.
We haven't seen her. We weren't even aware we were supposed to see her. That's because it was supposed to be a surprise. It was supposed to be spontaneous. You're supposed to run into each other.
He groaned and slammed his hoof into his forehead.
Oh, pies. Pies?
Sorain asked.
You mean apple pies?
I think he realized.
Yes, apple pies. If she sells them cheap, you mean meet rainbow. If they're too expensive, you don't meet rainbow.
He hung his head, shaking it low in despair.
I hate it when this happens. And I can't just force her to meet you or she'll be rebellious and try and meet with somebody else.
The wonderful pair slowly looked up at him and to each other, and then back at the distraught prince.
Sir?
Spitfire tried.
If you want, we could meet her now. It's too late.
He met her eyes and resolved himself, standing proud.
No. Maybe it isn't. Follow me. It looks like your date just became our date, Sugar Cube. +2. Oh, hush! I wonder what's going on.
Rainbow Dash wasn't unhappy. She wasn't. The night had been pretty awesome. She had gotten to meet a lot of Wonderballs since she hadn't been sure who wanted to be her too for the night. She had tried to meet as many of her idols as possible in the process. She met Stormcrown's family, for first an awesome Daredevil. Dash had not pictured him having a whole litter of little foes. Hung out with the elderly but still amazing Skyshade, and even shaken hands with Thundertree himself. It was really cool, but it didn't feel right asking any two of them to spend the whole night with just her, to hang out with just her. They were friends clamoring for pictures and autographs and old friends. Friends of the ponies who were there who were the Wonderwolves under their costume, hoping to catch up with graduates from fly school. It didn't feel right to monopolize any of them. It felt wrong, and the more she thought about it, the more certain she was. She hated being shoved aside. She hated having a pony that wanted to talk about tricks and lighting a smoke trace, be too busy or too distracted by some pony or something else. About her wanting to use the power that came with the PIP pass, a bigger part of her knew she felt guilty to do so. It left her between a mountain and a lightning bolt, as the old saying went.
What?
Probably an old pony saying. It wasn't that she was unhappy. Remedice was just a little conflicted. Sitting alone and nursing her thoughts, not to mention nursing her drink, she almost missed the small group of ponies that entered the exclusion invite only lash. Perking up, she left the table and started over to intercept them. Her walk becoming quick throat as Appleton and Rabbit moved ahead.
I haven't seen you guys all night. Boy, howdy, I didn't know there were this many of those Wonderbolt types. You must be in hog heaven. Thank you, Applejack, for that colorful metaphor.
Not the least embarrassed, the dreamers embraced, laughing and completely at ease together. It was only for a moment in time, but they all seemed rejuvenated by the brief reunion. Soon Remondash was being introduced for the first time to Rarity's escort for the evening, and the stallion who had done so much to help out for the gala. Strangely, he seemed a little out of sorts. Dash guessed he just hadn't been experienced. Wait, what? He just hadn't been experienced in the mall to meet up.
Expecting.
Like oh. He was also more than a little overshadowed by his company.
Spitfire! Soren! I am not doing that. No. No! He said no!
I did it. You keep
Dang
going.
it. Yo.
The former raised a friendly hoof in greeting.
Hey.
The lady chimed in. Dash felt Applejack nudge her playfully, throwing a slight wink her.
What are you doing there, Applejack? What's this crap? What are you doing?
Wink her away. Maybe the night was looking up.
Seemed pretty suggestive.
Bluebot reappeared in a puff of light and smoke.
Apologies, Miss Rarity.
He turned around looking for her.
Miss Rarity? Over here.
She emerged from around the corner, levitating two cocktails, and he relaxed and carefully took one of the glasses with his own magic.
Another emergency?
She asked.
This one couldn't be avoided.
He apologized again.
But everything should be on track for another hour and a half.
The two walked away slowly towards the bathroom and the Mendiere USA. Rarity was quiet, fiddling a little when her sweet fable. Wow, you do it.
Aperitif.
She had been since they had left Miss Applejack and Dash with the two Wonderfuls. Bluebell was never happy having to teleport off on her, but some things were simply necessary for the gala to go along perfectly. It has been the perfect gala, it had to be. He hoped he wasn't testing her patience, leaving one day for an emergency was not gentle calling. But he would explain why she had gone rather quiet.
Blue blood.
She finally said as they entered the hall. Inside, the party was already in full swing, so to speak, all thanks to the ceramic pink dance machine at the center stage. Whatever Rarity had been about to say ended up on the back burner as she watched her friend Pinkie Pie spiral around an equally energetic blue stallion, her pink and white dress, with Candy's mother still blurring as she moved from smooth glissé into a pirouette into another angle glissé. The tempo of the pair building concerto fueled the duo as they moved around on the dance floor. Not only the dancing couple, but undoubtedly the most flamboyant. Bluebell also seemed impressed by the soft she gave us as after they observed the would-be students showing up and everybody in their own game. Sipping up from his glass, the aperitif went wetting both the plate and the appetite for more than just an exquisite gala dinner. He held up his hoof.
Miss Rarity.
He asked invitingly.
Oh, as shocking as it is to see Pinkie Pie of all ponies dancing out there.
Rarity quickly downed her drink as well as and floated two glasses to the nearby table. She took his prophet hoof.
It would not do to miss out on all the fun, would it?
Cutting across the dance floor, the prince and fashionista bow into the customary beginning of the dance. As the violin played, starting the second suite, they began to move, stepping and gliding and flourishing with the music. Both ponies were pairs in their steps as soon they began to experiment by missing in a petit pas, then a mood drifting moving backwards, and then including an even more popular usage.
Including the ever-popular Pas de Cheval.
The third suite began with a strong, light beat as the two unicorns continued, having a comfortable and easy time after learning each other's movements. Hoops leaves and trotted across the polished hoof, and another bodies moved and spun around them. While not quite inclined as the passionate energy of Pinkie and her panther, Rarity found Blueblood more aggressive than she had expected, and as an accomplished as one would expect from a born and bred member of the nobility. This one was the final of the score, compelling the person spontaneously into a survived vivacious feast. They circled, turned, and spun as the final suite drew to a close. The prince ended to the aperitif applause of the growing crowd of dancers. The violinist bowed and rested. As a dark mare stood, balancing against her solo, she cleared her throat, bowed deeply, and resumed her place at the center of the stage. Nearly drafted by the chosen instrument, she reached out the strings and began to play. A rich sound filled the menagerie as she performed the soulful notes of her cello, transitioning from introductory prelude to a lively allemande. This, too, was a pertuned dance form, but it relied less on movement and more on holding one's partner upright and spinning them, or turning with them, in time. It was a matter of trust, as two ponies dancing allemande will stumble and fall together if a major mistake was made. Rarity lost sight of Pinkie as Bluebell lifted her of her front legs, but in innocence of any commotion, assumed that her strangely sleek friend had adopted into the dance as well. Leaning close to her escort now, she smiled as she started her.
Hang on.
Yes. Yes.
So is the assumption here that the ponies are dancing on their hind legs?
Yes. No, no, they weren't dancing on the highway. Now they're doing it.
Okay. I was a little confused.
Spoon her your place.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, wait a minute. All four on the floor, and yet they're lifting each other? What devil magic is this?
Now she smiled as he turned around, spun her in place, and held her up. The third movement in the solo piece was slower, as she could afford to rest a bit and kneel into him.
You know.
She whispered.
Yes?
He asked quietly, having heard her.
This is everything I ever dreamed of.
She buried her face into his neck.
Thank you for this evening.
Bluebell could, her words were kind of flattering even, but there was something in the way she said them. Bluebell couldn't quite put his hoof on it. Uh, Dinner. They had made it to dinner. No animals, no rampage, no damn flying cakes, no collapsing statues, just dinner. The six mare that made the elves of harmony soon collected together, sitting next to one another and talking animatedly. The evening was going splendidly, while not as acoustically pleasing as the ears say. The actual tables were stretched along the equally large chimney's walls, could close briefly so the servants could hustle in and remove the buffet and set up the tables in silverware. Sorry. It also was suited because it kept all the smells of food to just one hole instead of three. Are you there?
Yeah.
You're a bit quiet.
I have nothing to say.
See. No, I mean a bit quiet,
it...
like you're a bit away from the microphone, so I can barely hear you. That's what I mean.
Oh, sorry. How about now?
That's perfect. Just not so loud.
Okay, I'll be right here.
Not so loud.
I'm not being loud.
A bit away.
You said to get closer to the mic.
Don't just.
Not just being punk. I'm sorry.
There we go. That's fine. Celestia.
Okay.
Celestia herself sat on the head of the table, a very apex of the pyramid, and all ponies radiated from her like dwindling rays of the setting sun. High ministers and office holders were sitting at the closest of their summit. Blue himself sat to her left, and an empty chair remained unused to her right. Reserved to the other princesses of the realm, in absentia, that open space had not been even planned until this morning when he had done to add it, breaking the traditional sitting arrangement. Bearing his own time loose, Bluebell was confident that Princess Luna would be occupied next year, if that year ever came. The elements of harmony, at six of them, were in his left and turn, a prominent place within the unspoken pecking order of the Candlelight High Society. Stealing more of the few looks in their way, he felt confident that they were all enjoying themselves. The timid Pegasus had been a little bit down in her return, but it was far better than her dolly lord from idiotic, obstinate animals and causing a stampede of panic aristocrats back in the company of her friends. She had cheered up and now positively glowed. Miss Pinkamena head was also starting to curl.
Nephew.
Celestia spoke quietly as her voice regal as ever, but her words intended only for him.
Auntie?
He asked, also keeping his voice down, one quick look at a time.
I must commend you,
she said, dabbing her mouth with a silk napkin.
You've put quite a lot of work into keeping tonight's gala on schedule. The gala,
he cordially reminded her,
is a celebration of the founding of Canterlot, and of you, Auntie. You are the light of Equestria, without which there would be only darkness. Why shouldn't it be perfect?
She smiled knowingly, like he was just a fool.
Nephew, please. Auntie,
he said then.
Did you want tonight's gala to be something other than it is?
Her serene expression never wavered.
You've become a bit more clever recently.
She noted.
And much better at teleportation. I've had a lot of time.
He countered.
Auntie, your gala is perfect, Blue Blood. You've done a remarkable job. I mean that, I really do.
She looked out at the grace and quiet background music at the orderly attendance and the finery on display. One mute eye crinkled a little, and for a heartbeat she looked old and sad.
Auntie,
He asked, a hint of desperation in his voice.
should I not have done this?
She kept her eyes on the gala as if deciding her answer for herself.
The fun in life is not knowing what's going to happen.
He said then.
The wisest of ponies relish a little nonsense now and then. You told me that.
Her one visible eye.
Oh, I read that like it was her saying it. Not like it's a fun in life is not knowing what's going to happen.
He said then.
The wisest of ponies relish in a little nonsense now and then. You told me that.
Her one visible eye traced over to him.
I never told you that, nephew.
He bowed his head quickly, respectfully.
Maybe it was foolish of me anyways.
She whispered.
Pardon?
Bluebird interrupted reluctantly, and teleported. A second before he did, a pony stood up at the front of the table, distant enough to his face, could hardly see in any detail. The stallion clutched at his throat, cocking and chuckled. His jaw fell off the floor as he stumbled back into a waiting body. Front of the legs reached up and around, locking in place and then thrusting back with one smooth movement. Whatever was in the guest's throat flew across the crable and out of the fruits. Danger passed. Wolf held the other stallion back to his seat and teleported back to his own chair. There was some sort of scattered applause, and various ponies realized what had happened, but for the most part there was only stunned silence. Not looking terribly pleased with himself, the police stood at Celestia's side, asked the music to resume, and looked to his seat again.
Stop!
What?
Celestia knows what's going on.
She probably knows by now.
She totally knows.
Come on.
Nephew,
Celestia began anew.
we should have a talk. In private. Miss Sparkle, Twilight and her friends will be staying the night here in the castle.
Celestia informed him.
She will understand if I wish to have a few words with you, of all ponies.
He bowed. There was no point in arguing.
As you wish, Auntie.
There was no hiding things from Celestia. There was definitely no hiding things from her that she would already had the inkling that something was wrong. One could try, within his foreknowledge, he could at least try, but it was his auntie. He couldn't. She asked, and he answered, and told her everything. Justifiably, even for an immortal goddess, it took a few seconds to settle in.
How many times has this happened?
She gently asked. The two were alone at the balcony at the Royal Apartments, overlooking the golden crowns of cantaloupe tower below. A cold night air sent a ripple through Celeste's ethereal mane. The cross-cutting aurora of color shifting in place.
I'm not even sure anymore.
He answered, looking out over the palace.
I lost count a long time ago. Hundreds, maybe 1,000 or more.
He heard her wings unfurl, one settled softly on his back.
My poor boy.
He turned his eye from Cantaloupe and saw that she was looking at him with worry.
You believe me then? Or do you think
He tapped his head.
the problem is in here and not in here?
He tapped his chest.
I believe you. For what's left of tonight, I'll believe you.
She reached out of the lowered his hoof.
You're not the stallion you were yesterday.
I wonder if you said that knowing some of the things I did when I learned about this condition. I did. Oh, sorry.
Wait just a second.
We both I got confused. You do.
What did you do?
I just ruined everything. We were doing so well. Your turn.
It took me a second. I was like, wait a minute. When did we switch? I wonder if you'd say that knowing some of the things that I did when I learned about this condition. I did
He frowned and remembered and hung his head in shame.
desperate, terrible things. And I did things to spite you, Auntie. In your position, I probably would have done the same, eventually.
She remarked with a casual chuckle. She So reserved was she, there were many who would doubt that fact, even in light of her saying it herself.
Blue blood, I am as much a pony as anyone else, or any pony else. We all have our flaws and vices, our conflict between what we want to do and what we must do. In the past, you've been a disappointment.
He said,
I know.
he admitted, looking away.
I've seen, learned about how many mistakes I've made. I know how little I used to even care.
Celestia sits next to him.
I wish I could help you, but there is no magic I know of that can deal with a problem like this. I know.
He replied, wondering at first, but then with genuine amusement.
Believe me, I know. I've asked you so many times, searched everywhere. Nothing. Is that why you did what you did tonight with the gala?
The princess asked.
Partly.
He nodded, confirming her suspicion.
Part of me thought maybe if the gala goes perfectly, then the loop will end. There has to be a reason this keeps happening to me. On this night, of all nights. And partly it was just out of curiosity. Could I even do it?
Bluebot chuckled once again, easily.
I think I've gotten to the point where I'm just doing things for the challenge of doing them.
The cloudless sky cleared for the gala perfectly. Sage overheard as the royal sat in silence.
You may have spoiled my fun tonight, a little.
Celestia admitted and ruffled his mane, causing the grown stallion to roll his eyes and grumble.
But I was proud of you tonight, too. My little pony.
The night was over. The perfect gala night. Blue Blood held his head high as he walked to his quarters. All that was left was to sleep, and wait, and see. Things had gone well in the end, perhaps not entirely perfect due to a few inevitable oversights, but nearly perfect. He rather thought that he could repeat the day to such effect. Of course, he probably would eventually keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it,
Keep
keep
at
it
it
in
and
and
at
keep
it
it
and
at
at
it.
it.
Having just unbound his bow tie, he came up short and noticed somebody besides his two usual retinue waiting for this by his suit door. It was her. What was she doing here?
Miss Rarity.
He said, bringing the smile back to his face.
Hello. Prince Blueblood.
She replied, ducking his head in courtesy. Sorry.
I wanted to thank you again for the wonderful night, for myself and for my friends.
Oh.
No need.
He reassured, dismissing the niceties and with a wave of his hoof.
It was my pleasure. I also...
She flushed demurely, her royal blues darting away.
wanted to talk to you in private. As you wish.
He deferred, motioning her to walk alongside.
My study is this way.
She still wore her gala dress, he noticed, but without some of the accoutrements. Specifically, most of her jewelry had been left unwear, probably her room, and it sometimes drew attention to her features. Not for the first time, he thought that he had seen her, that she was an attractive bear. Her eyes were a stunning blue, stormy dark when she got angry, and bright and light when she laughed. Her voice was quite pleasing, provided that she wasn't screeching or using it as a weapon of mass destruction. Her color wasn't quite white, but with a very soft and feminine shade of light gray. Good.
I like this phrase. Good breeding, good poise, even a good dancer.
She really was legal, a true lady. A bit of magic unlocked his private study, and a flashlight activated with electronic lights, candle, and even magical wickers and lamps were off limits here. Just as in the library, a fire could easily destroy irreplaceable documents and records. Sadly, this gave the room a harsher form of illumination that it needed. Somebody really should find a way to dim these electronic light devices. Perhaps he could spend the next 30 or 40 loops studying some electronics engineering. Not like it would hurt the effort.
So this is your office.
Rarity asked, looking around.
My apologies for the mess, Miss Rarity, and for the lights.
His sun glowed as he turned on some of the bulbs, reducing the brightness by lengthening the shadows as he in the shadows. It was uneven lighting out, as some places fell while others darkened, but the overall effect was close to desired. It was, he had to admit, a bit of a clutter. Never the most organized or efficient or diligent pony ever. Every morning he found his study the same state of disarray, like a constant reminder of how neglectful and wasteful he had been yesterday. He tidied it up. He tidied it up. Arbi, he tidied. Oh wow. He tidied it up. Much of it by rote each day. Now has he at the office of the Benur General Audit. He helped to know where everything was, so a few twists of magic did the rest.
Is it very much work?
She inquired, opening a narrow window to let air in. Her hooves brushed off against the faint magical field that had functioned on a screen outside the window, both to prevent things like insects from getting inside and to ensure other things, like thieves, couldn't make it off with precious documents. Luna's moon, full and bright, could be seen outside, providing his light of his own.
If you had asked me that yesterday, Miss Rarity, I would have said no. It isn't much work at all.
He smiled, wringing a hoof against one of the hangle nubs.
But more recently, I've started to remember why I accepted this job. And the extra work has found more meaning.
How so?
How so?
Sorry. Why do I keep doing that? She asked, trudging over to see what he had. It was a map of the Everfree.
It was easy to forget that this office affects the lives of others. Lines on a map, you see.
He pointed out to the straight bordering at a neat right angle.
I never went out to actually see these places, but there are ponies down there. Like your friend Applejack. She lives here.
She pointed to a large, sweeping declination on the map.
Is this the scale? I never imagined that Sweet Apple Acres was so large. And this is Ponyville here?
She pointed a few neat intersections on the map. There were no buildings shown, just organized zones marked with tiny letters. She also noted that she had taken out those crystal slivers. How any man could walk in such things he couldn't imagine. Of course, there was much dominated by the Everfree forest.
Oh, and here's the mountain with that dragon Fluttershy I chased off.
Riley pointed out in another area with high, big stylized into dimensions.
This little rectangle here must be the ruined castle. Is a course hut in here anywhere? The zebra of Everfree?
He asked, having heard the name before, as he had tracked down. He had even tracked it down once, hoping her zebra voodoo had some cure of his condition.
Not yet. I should probably add it sometime. But I believe here?
He took a quill and marked a spot in the forest with a small X. They did a little as he showed a few other maps in some exotic places. Ponies only lived and settled in the relatively small percentages of Equestria. Most of it was empty or considered uninhabitable. Sections have to be cleared and prepared for settlement. The wildlife tamed or domesticated or otherwise made harmless. Disease had to be magically eradicated, and the weather had to be reeled up by a team of trained Pegasi. Pluto found himself enjoying having a guest here, in a place he considered most private than even her bedchamber. Royal ponies had charted far off lands and copied most of every place known to Ponykind existed here or in other formal office headquarters. Most of it had to be collecting dust for years.
What about this?
Reddy gestured to a newer, rougher map.
That is actually a maze.
He explained.
The Laurel Maze outside in the gardens.
It was magnificent, really. Octagonal. It was without a peer in all of Equestria as the centerpiece of the larger grand garden complex. Bluebird will highlight some of the more interesting features. The sanctuary of the south entrance, for example, featuring a number of unknown Azure books in the area. A newer facade to the east and west. There were areas within the maze as well.
Did you seriously just
Yes,
say est and west? Oh my
remember I'm
gosh!
Spanish. I don't usually read things in English out loud.
That reminds me of an episode of SpongeBob. East? Oh, I thought you said west.
Ah.
West? What kind of compass you reading, lad? That's
For
west.
dense and smaller pavilions. Those were arranged in symbolic geometric shapes and along cardinal points.
You'll forgive me, but it sounds as if your true calling is in maze making.
Rarity observed, having endured his long-winded exposition.
That isn't inaccurate.
He gazed fondly at the map.
I have my cutie mark because of the laurel maze outside. It is special to me. Would you mind if I asked about
Polite and ladylike as always.
it? There isn't much to tell. Actually, you're the second filly today to ask about my cutie mark.
He traced a line along the south end of the maze.
When I was young, I snuck away from my lessons to play in the gardens here. I was foolish and loved to poke my nose where it didn't belong. You probably know how little colts and fillies can be.
Rarity shook her head in dismay.
You could say that. Well, I wandered into the maze, thinking there was candy or some other silly thing in the middle. Something Auntie Celestia and the other adults wanted to hide or keep for themselves. Why else would someone make a big maze? I wandered around with a pen and paper and tried to find the center. When I noticed ponies looking for me, I hid because I didn't want to get in trouble. Of course,
He added.
I got in trouble. Of course.
Rarity seemed to be enjoying the story. He continued.
Eventually, I found the center of the maze, mostly through blind luck.
He pointed with the back of his feather quill to a small space in the absolute center of the hexagon, sandwiched between three larger portions of pavilions.
But there wasn't any candy or any prize. I didn't turn into an alicorn to find a pile of bits. But
He smirked.
I did get my cutie mark. Well,
Rarity asked, expecting one more bit of information.
you must tell me, Blue Blood, what was at the center of the maze? Ah, the center of the maze.
He hesitated, unable to resist unable to resist jerking her around a little, tapping his chin. He wondered out loud.
What was at the center of that maze again? I forget. Tease.
She tapped his front leg and blushed softly at the familiar forward contact.
Miss Rarity.
It was his turn to ask something now.
What was it you wanted to talk to me about?
She looked away shyly.
The gala.
Always the
Always
gala.
the gala. Was something wrong with it?
He asked. At least he could. He asked. At least he could do better next time.
I had a wonderful evening. All my friends had a wonderful evening.
Rarity told him, looking up to his eyes.
But I don't think you did. Me?
He blinked a few times, not having expected anything else.
I didn't. You seemed to know what each of us wanted to get out of the gala.
Rarity continued.
You knew that Applejack wanted to make money by selling food here. You knew that Twilight wanted to spend the evening talking with the princess. You knew that Rainbow wanted to meet with the Wonderbolts. You even knew she'd become friends with Spitfire and Soren. Heavens, she couldn't stop talking about them.
He backed away a step, feeling like her analysis of the evening was an accusation.
You knew that Pinkie wanted to dance and party. She told us all about how you gave her those books and how hard you showed her how to marche and slow dance.
Rarity didn't sound angry, but she took a step forward as he had taken a step back.
You even knew about Fluttershy, the game warden she met. You told him to be there, didn't you? He was expecting her.
His flank bumped into a desk. There was nowhere left to back up to.
And of course, you knew about me.
She hammered home, sounding more confused than upset.
I don't know how, but you knew about me. I won't ask what you had to do to learn all those things. I know what you've been doing when you teleported away to take care of official functions. I asked around, keeping a statue from falling, saving some pony from choking, even stopping a servant from dropping a tray of drinks.
She pressed a hoof to his chest. Through his chest.
Blue Blood, I don't know if you use some sort of magic to do it, and I'm not
He
angry.
relaxed a bit, and the fashionista lowered her hoof to the floor.
The only pony you didn't seem to bother with was yourself. What did you want out of tonight's gala? I know...
She concluded a little sadly.
I know it isn't romance. I know it isn't me.
Yesterday he was another her admission at her broken heart. Today he felt terrible. He felt like he failed, not just on making the perfect gala, but as him.
Miss Rarity.
He took her hoof and chewed and touched his foreleg to hers.
I am sorry. You are a perfect lady, but I am not a perfect prince. Next year...
She asked as he felt her breath to his chin as she kneeled into him.
Next gala, I'd like it if we could do what you want. What makes you happy? You don't mean that...
He tried to protest.
I do.
She said firmly, meeting his eye.
I'll never forget tonight.
He knew what she would say next.
I wish it could last forever.
Of course, it didn't. Well, that was certainly something.
Son of a...
What?
Yes, it has a...
Why did you say son of a bitch?
I'm curious what happens in the next one. How long is the next one?
The next one I think is shorter. Hold on, because...
That would be nice.
Yeah, that took us 2 hours. Yeah, it's a bit short.
That took us 2 hours?
Yes.
Jeez! Dude! That took forever!
Let me check
gosh.
exactly... Oh, sorry about this. 1 hour and 57 minutes.
Seriously, why do we not segment these chapters?
I am thinking, I am considering splitting this video in 2.
This is long, dude. This took forever.
So, thoughts.
That's hilarious. Oh, dude.
Okay, thoughts.
I'm really curious if anybody got the song reference, because if they did, we have something to talk about.
Well, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm literally just very curious how this will end. It was a nice ending to the chapter, though. I like how he managed to continue telling the story, but managed to put a few jokes in between here and there.
What?
Without feeling like
yeah.
Without the jokes didn't feel forced. That's what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they felt like they fit there. They didn't feel like he just needed to add some comedy because he just wanted to. He felt like the comedy fit there. The comedy made sense, and it didn't come at moments where it was awkward. It came at the very few moments where there wasn't too much happening with the characters. So that's one thing that I like, and I also liked how in the end they didn't. I mean, it's not like they weren't. They were happy with how it turned out, but they weren't the exact same. You know what I mean? They weren't. They weren't completely satisfied with their night. But they were on the first loop. They were satisfied with their Nigth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have something to say?
Hmm. You know, I'm not sure I do. Um, it was awesome,
Yes.
but no, I don't think I have anything particular to say right now.
Yeah, pretty much all you
But
wanted to
let me
say, you
think.
said
Let's
it in
see.
the middle of a chapter, so that makes sense.
Yes, I am quite the interrupter, aren't I?
Nah, it's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm just like saying it. Like that's pretty much. I'm also very curious about the. Is it bad that the only thing that completely like the only beside Rarity being cuddly with Blue Blood, the only thing that got into my mind was the dragon, the dra-
What?
the dragon skin.
Stop that!
What?
You like will go to say something and then he goes, hey, hey, and then you're like quiet for a few
I
seconds.
think it's your microphone.
It's weird.
The
It's not me.
dragon skin, the dragon skin something. What was it? A portrait? What was it?
Oh, it was a tapestry.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I
Why?
don't know. I found it a little weird. Like, I mean, that implies that they kill a dragon, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
So, anything you wanna say before I cut this out?
Hmm. No, I think I'm good. All I want to say is thank you for anybody who joined us.
And,
We know there's not a lot of you, and we appreciate every single one of you.
yep. Also, they probably didn't watch the whole thing, so they're probably never hearing this. Or maybe they're
Yeah,
watching in parts, like they watch.
to be honest, I would not be surprised.
Uh, so anyway, have a good day, night, evening, or whatever time frame you're on, and hope to see you in the next one.
Have